Hello guys, this is ADQ, and in this video we will go over the last game of SG Esports versus Unknown Team. It was their last game of the series to qualify for TI.
If you like this type of content, go to gamersclass.com. For just $9.99 a month, watch masterclasses with pro players, join exclusive live sessions, and get 24/7 access to coaches and other high MMR players. Get full control of your ranked games and start owning with our Supreme Dota 2 membership.
Obviously, spoiler, well, it's not really a spoiler because we already know that SG is going to win since, it's best of 5, so they have 2, enemies have 1, so yeah, this is the last game. Picks were DK first. This is where the replay starts basically. DK first, obviously a really strong hero right now. Offlane, with sort of the new build that people are going for, where you can max stun second or even first. Well, the main thing about it is that you don't max armor anymore, or if you max the armor, the third skill, you just get less points in Q and go with the talent at level 10. Basically, the hero is really strong in any situation, especially since you have damage reduction, 60% or something like that with the talent. You have a long stun, you can siege towers, you're really tanky, so the hero is really annoying. Obviously, Hoodwink is kinda nice with it, simply because you can chain stun, DK stun into Hoodwink W and then ultimate. You can just set up for this. So it's really nice. It's also because you can, with Hoodwink, you can play in the trees always because of the third skill. So you can set up for kills with DK. So it's a really nice pair. It's a strong offlane. They go, the enemies pick Nyx, obviously a really strong hero. I made a video about this, so yeah, it's obviously a really strong hero for multiple reasons. First of all, it's a support that has a lot of uses for the game. You can scout because of the invis, you can pick up because of the ultimate again, you can mana burn, so you can pick heroes like Medusa, so you don't fear the mana burn from Nyx. Obviously stun and stuff. So yeah, it's just a nice hero to have in your team. Duza afterwards, I think they just enjoyed this hero and that's why they picked it. It's not particularly good against DK or Hoodwink. I mean, I guess it could be because against Hoodwink, because Hoodwink doesn't really like to play in her face, in Duza's face, and because of that you can really, mess with her. For example, heroes that Duza doesn't like to face would be something like PL that just goes on her, same as something like Naga, stuff that just goes on her. So because Hoodwink is playing for far away, they might think that, it won't really be that bothersome from Duza. TK is decent against Duza. So, I don't know, like I said, I believe this is simply one of their comfort pick. Since, it might be the last game of the series, which it will be. They simply pick something that's sort of in the meta and they enjoy playing. And it's obviously a really hard carry. Okay, it's going to be a Wind Wyvern. Yeah, Wind Wyvern, another meta hero. I actually made a video about this. You simply go for Holy Locket and then the talent at level 10 for E, Cold Embrace, and because of that you just allow your teammates to be super tanky. Obviously it's really nice against Duza for the healing, that people can actually sort of man up to her because they have physical damage immunity in their team from Winter Wyvern. However, Winter Wyvern is not so great against Duza because of other reason. It's simply because if you freeze someone around Duza, I mean, not freeze someone, if you ult, for example, this Lion, if he is ulting Lion, Duza is still going to split shot the enemy team, aka their team. So yeah, it's a pretty nice hero. However, you don't want to be sitting close to her even when she's ulting. Even when Winter Wyvern is ulting Duza, you still don't want to be close to her. They respond with a Lion. It's actually a pretty nice pick. It's simply because they have a lot more options now. I mean, the draft is sort of open still. We have no concrete, heroes, just Duza that is farming. The other supports are just providing a lot of kills. That's sort of what they're doing right here. Lions can get a lot of kills. Nyx Assassin, just a lot of pick off and kills. Team fight. Meanwhile, Duza can farm. Batrider is going to be the response for TA. TA is obviously a decent hero against this, simply because of the refraction, and also you can actually push with DK, combining it with taking Roche. So because of that, it's a pretty good pick from their team. Then Batrider as the counter of Dragon Knight and TA and Winter Wyvern, everyone basically in their team. So this Batrider is a really nice pick right here. It basically countered the entire enemy team. They will have to itemize versus Batrider, so that means that Medusa is going to be AFK farming. I mean, not AFK farming, but full free farm, and then she can come online later in the later part of the game and actually carry the game. Kunkka and Doom has been banned, have been banned, Puck, and Darkseer. So this is going to be their last pick, and it will be a Timbersaw. Again, pretty nice hero against all of the enemy teammates, including TA, because of the armor that you gain. He owns DK because of it's a strength hero, melee hero when not ulted. Owns Winter Armor because of his damage is magical and pure. So, you know, same as TA, you have a lot of armor, you can burn through refraction. Winter Armor heal doesn't really work since you're already doing magical pure damage. This guy you can fight him in trees. So yeah, the response is going to be Invoker, simply because they don't have a carry that is fit to win this game. That was basically why they simply, I believe they will put TA safe lane and then Invoker versus Batrider mid. They need something like a tempo hero, which is Invoker in this case. It's also decent against Medusa, Timbersaw because of mana burn. It can survive against Batrider quite easily. So yeah, it's actually really nice because of that. The carry that I was thinking for them to pick, if they wanted TA to still go mid, would be Slark, or actually put Slark mid, but it might have been banned. I might have not noticed, because you counter the all three cores, right? Batrider can't really do anything to you. It's simply because, you know, you can stick in Napalm, you can ultimate him because of the Q, Dark Pact, so you dispel all of them. Medusa obviously not so great against Slark, simply because you're super tanky, and that means that Slark can hit you a lot, and also Slark is a hero that buys Diffuser Blade, and Timbersaw is sort of the same thing. You're really tanky, so Slark hits you like 30 times, you give him 30 stacks, so it's not that great. Only thing that he had to be, you know, careful about would be Nyx Assassin and the Lion. However, you can itemize versus boards by buying a Sanj, or, you know, just being careful, pressing your spells in time. The only issue with Slark would have been is that they do not have sort of a tempo controller, which is what Invoker is in this game, because they need to do stuff on the map. So yeah, mid lane is going to be decent, I suppose, for Invoker and Batrider. Both of them, as you can see, is just a magic stick, and then you don't really care about whatever is happening right there. TA just gotten picked off by the opponents. There were 3 there, so they have 2 stuns, and yeah, Timbersaw nuke, so 3 nukes is, but it's okay for TA. He doesn't really care about anything like this. The main point about TA being safe lane in this game is that TA is a hero that doesn't really care about anything that is happening in the game. You can still go jungle with side plays. It's sort of a battle fury for range heroes, because it's 100% damage. You can just go jungle, leave this tower for Timbersaw to take, or even go mid if you feel like you have enough levels and traps, so Batrider doesn't really kill you. So this TA being safe lane doesn't really hinder them that much. And also it's a decent matchup for Timbersaw before he's level 6, simply because this are like single instances of damage. Timbersaw, Timber Chain, and also Whirling Dart is just single instance of damage. As you can see, it's almost highest on the TA chart, on the network chart on TA. Bottom is going to be decent for both teams. As you can see, both cores, as I mentioned in the draft, it doesn't really impact that much, since the cores don't really care about each other. Duza is just mostly physical damage, DK is healing a lot, and DK can't really harass Duza because of the, you know, melee hero, because it's a melee hero. So yeah, I'll try to skip ahead a bit until laning stage is over, simply because it doesn't really matter that much, because I know that the game won't be that intense and without much stuff happening in the early game, because of the picks, obviously. So Invoker's will try to go for Earn, so he sort of had to rush Boots in this game so he doesn't get killed by Batrider. Usually you would want to get Earn before Boots, however in this game, you know, it was this first. Invoker will try to rotate a bit after his Earn, I believe, in my opinion, simply because TA would like to take mid lane, because her farm rotation should be something like this, going from top jungle to mid to bottom jungle, I mean the triangle, or from here to mid and then back to this or this, you know. So TA would like to have this farm, because it's sort of a same farm. By being here, where she's right now, she's open to ganks. So because of that, she doesn't really want to be there. Winter Run just got picked off, the opponents are just trying to get this tower. I wouldn't really be here if I were TA, I would be going mid, I would be extremely happy about Batrider not bothering me. So by her being here, you know, she's going to die because of this. But if two cores are focusing one tower and you're TA, you can't really help. I mean, yeah, you might be able to get an X kill in return for you dying, which is obviously not that great. Instead, she should be pushing mid, exactly as Duza is doing. Duza is doing the correct thing right here. She does not care. Duza is exactly the same hero concept as TA in this game. You don't really care about what's happening. All you have to do is avoid ganks, and eventually you will get strong enough to carry this game. I mean, some of the faster rate than others, so, you know, TA earlier is better than Duza, simply because Duza with like a Yasha cannot really fight. If you have Dragonlance on TA, which is exactly what she's going for, especially since she's highest network, I can farm faster because you have 100% damage on side traps, I mean on side blades. Duza doesn't have it, it's 60% level 2, so you obviously farm faster than Duza. So all you have to do is try to not die to the opponent, especially not suicide yourself to defend the tower. That doesn't really matter. Tier 1 top doesn't really open the map for the opponents because she wants to be here. Tier wants to be here. So if the opponents are pressuring your tier 1 that you don't really care about, just let it fall, you know. Go hit some creeps on the other side of the map. Until they get from this side of the map to here, you would have farmed this stack. And you would gain a lot of advantage. Batrider just gotten killed. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. Batrider is just a space creator. As long as he's forcing like 3 or 4 heroes to where he is, this side of the map, it's really good for Duza. That is going to play in the opposite side of the map. So sort of the same idea, but in different ways, right? If the opponents are here, you know, you want to be on the Asians. But Batrider is making the opponent to be in the opposite side of the where Duza is farming. So because of that, it's actually really good. Both teams are really nice at stacking, as you can see. They made stacks here, they were stacks here, and then also the ancient stack that TA hasn't really farmed yet. I don't know, it might be because they might have not communicated to her that there is a stack, or I don't know what she's waiting for. Maybe just no, to take these smaller camps first. Also the Dragonlance, maybe this was a thought process. So both teams are sort of 4v4 right now, this instance, simply because, as I mentioned before, the concepts of Duza and TA are similar. Until TA has the Dragonlance, she can actually fight a bit more, especially after you get the level 10 talent, the plus 100 side blades range. So this is really nice, finishing these stacks and this, and I believe they could smoke after doing this. The smoke is possible because right now TA is actually pretty strong, as you can see. She has like 1000 gold advantage over the position 1 of the enemies, which is Duza, and she can't really fight. She has a Yasha, however TA has, you know, Dragonlance and almost a Mithril Hammer. So because of this, this would be the moment where I might try to smoke and either take a tower or do something, simply because they don't get any advantage over the opponents. In this instance, I would prefer if they could take an advantage over the opponent. So Dragon Knight, excuse me, could pressure towers a bit with ultimate, right? This tower should have been taken at least, and maybe this tower, or at least have done more damage on it. Especially since right now TA could assist her teammates. So yeah, exactly it's going to do with the catapult. It would have been a lot better if you could have done it faster a bit. However, it's really nice. So yeah, it is exactly as I said. The opponents are, unknown team are trying to do stuff on the map, simply because they understand that they are a bit stronger than the opponents right now. DK took a tower, meanwhile team Lion died, Batrider almost died, he was forced to TP base. So it's really nice because they are 5 right now and the opponents, one is dead and one is forced to heal. So until they get to the mid lane, they can actually try to pressure this tower. They also force the creep, so it's really, really good because of it. That's a pretty nice curse. Controlling the stone gaze. However, you know, they still have a lot of damage because of Timber Saw. It's going to die right there. TA got Batrider though. So that's why Batrider counters TA, simply because you can control TA extremely easy and burn through the refraction instances. So yeah. The item build for Invoker, I sort of like it. Actually, I like it because of the Timber Saw. I mentioned in the previous video, I believe, I don't know which one, is that Spirit Vessel. Oh, I remember. It was the Empire versus Team Spirit. Exactly like this. Invoker is sort of the new build for Invoker to go Spirit Vessel into Midas. And it's actually really, really good because of in this game because of Timber Saw. So as I said in the other video, if you haven't watched it, or it hasn't been uploaded yet, I wouldn't really go for this unless the opponents have something to heal. I mean, some heal. So yeah, it's actually really, really good to have Spirit Vessel in your team if the opponents have heals. Especially this meta seems like a healing meta because of the supports that are sort of in the meta are Winter Wyvern, Enchantress, Warlock, stuff like that that can Abaddon even maybe. Heroes that go Holy Locket and have heals. So Spirit Vessel is actually really, really nice because of it. I also enjoy that he's going to buy a Midas so they can scale, simply because they have a TA, the opponents have a Duza. Obviously the game is going to go to the later stages, so Batrider usually sort of falls off unless you have a great game, which he has 2, 3 and 2. It doesn't have such a great game. As you can see, he's the lowest net worth core in the game, lower than all offlaners and stuff like that. So yeah, because of that, I really like that Invoker is going for the Midas, simply because he can scale to the later game, and Batrider doesn't have any innate farming ability. I mean, you could consider Firefly as one, but it's not that great, especially since Duza is going to take a lot of farm, same as Timber Saw, that is most likely going to die here, I suppose. It's exactly as I mentioned, the drafting phase. This guy's maxing his stun. It's a long stun. This guy can set up with W afterwards an ultimate, so they have a lot of kill potential. So this is really nice. This guy is just dead right now, but what they should be doing is instantly going towards Roche. Come on, go Roche, please. This guy's dead. You should try to force a buyback, especially since they have Desolator and TA and W maxed. So that is exactly why they should be trying to take Roche right now, simply because Medusa only has a Manta style, and ultimate level 1 is not that great. I mean, it's not that great, but she doesn't really do that great yet, simply because she's not strong enough. It's only a Manta that can't really dispel anything, to be honest. I mean, only this Cold Snap or Spirit Vessel, but that's not that great. As you can see, they're still trying to do stuff, which is nice, invading this part. However, the opponents are moving to the bottom side, so that's why I would have preferred if they tried to take Roche. Even if they don't contest them, I mean, they could technically go there with Firefly and Flaming Lasso and stuff like that. However, it's not that great. As you can see, yeah, they're starting to do it now. So it's exactly as I mentioned. They're actually playing really nice, even though I suppose they're going to lose, but it's actually really, really nice what they're doing right here. So DK's build is obviously just a Blink Dagger, so he can initiate for his team. That is just his job. By maxing this, you actually lower the cooldown on it. So having a Blink Dagger and maxing stun is sort of the build, as I mentioned right now. Either not max Dragon Blood or don't max Breathfire. However, he opted to go for Breathfire in this game, as you see the skill on Timber Saw most likely. It's simply because Tornado, yeah. It's because they don't have enough wave clear. I mean, DK without his Q doesn't farm waves fast. Same as Winter Wyvern. You need like 2 of those to farm waves. Invoker doesn't really do anything to the wave, you don't really want a tornado the wave, same as this guy. So that's why he's maxing the Q also, because they want to take the they want to be able to push the waves faster than their opponents, which is actually a really important concept that a lot of people miss. By pushing more waves than the opponents, you give yourself more vision than the opponent. It's simply because if the wave is here always in the enemy's tower, you will know where they are. If they're not showing on the map, they're supposed to be defending, right? So if they're not showing on the map, that means they're most likely smoking on someone or doing something like that. So by always pushing waves in, you gain a lot of map information that the opponents might not have, since you could be rushing if you're not showing, right? Instead of just like smoking, or you could simply be farming safely. So I like that they're going to take a team fight right now. It's because they have an Aegis, and obviously Duza is okay, stronger right now because of the Dragonlance. However, still not as strong as TA. As you can see, the gold, sort of similar between these two cores. However, the other two cores are a bit better for Dire, just by a little bit. They have like 2000 gold advantage, as you can see right here. This is another thing that I talked in one of my videos, objective taking over, I believe it was, or something like that. It's exactly what they're doing right now. Tier 1, and then tier 2 bottom. Because this is a free tower. So that means that the opponents won't really be defending it. So you just gain like 600 gold just like that. Or even more actually. Simply because this area is going to be open for you for the taking always. Because there is no tower there. There's no reason for the opponents to be there. Also, it's really nice because you can take the outpost. So they will get a lot of experience over their opponents. They can't really pressure towers, to be honest, simply because of the Batrider threat. That you just get pulled back and stuff like that. Also Nyx can set up on you. So they're just trying to take the opponent's triangle, which is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Simply because they have no reason to be bottom, and by being here you can control two waves, which is really nice. This is another thing that a lot of people miss at lower MMR. Exactly what this DK is doing. You're supposed to be pulling the waves. That was actually a mistake by him. He didn't even try to do it. But you are supposed to be taking this wave like this. Even if there is still a tier 1 there, they can also get this tier 1 because there is no backdoor protection. But you're supposed to be doing this, exactly what they're doing. Sitting in the triangle, and then dragging this wave up to the hill, right here, and farming it here. Same as this, here. What this does is that means that two waves are going to be always in the opponent's tower, simply because their creeps don't reach your creeps here. So you'll always have vision of the opponents. Also, they can't really walk past you right here, right? If you have a ward here, they can't really, run past here to push the wave in. So you'll always have this tower getting pressured and this tower getting pressured, while also denying the opponent's Asians to get farmed. So it's really nice what they're doing right now. The build for TA is obviously going to be a BKB, which is nice. The opponents are just going to try to evade them. We're actually going to smoke onto them. They're just finding a line kill. It doesn't really matter that much, simply because Duza is still farming. The gold difference is exactly the same as it has been like 3 minutes ago. So it's really nice. They're mostly waiting for the Aegis to expire on on Radiant, except TA made a mistake. His team went to chase someone and she was still present, hitting a tower. However, she's able to escape, most likely. Oh no, that was not good. That was really not good. But she's most likely, yeah, she's going to be okay. She hit the carapace without refraction activated. I guess it was cooldown, and she lost the Aegis because of that. But the main issue that with this play is that she was still hitting the tower, the tier 2, when her teammates were here chasing someone. So the person that is here is giving information for the Radiant team that, they're not 5 there. So that's why they were able to get this kill. It's really important that they don't do this anymore. I don't think they can really take this tower reliably. I mean, I guess this guy doesn't have a BKB, however has an ultimate. So they have to be sort of scared, as you can see. This guy was dead, so on Team Burst off, so they can still try to take it. But it was sort of dangerous to be there, especially since they have no Winter Drive and ultimate, so they can't really counter initiate. Invoker has a Midas, is nice. He can still scale a little bit. As you can see, he's not really farming that much, simply because he's waxed, so he doesn't have alacrity. I mean, that great of alacrity, and doesn't really have force spirits. DK has enough gold for BKB, and he should be buying a BKB. This is where they have to run away, because TA TP'd away. And that was not a mistake or anything. She's just going to finish her BKB, which is nice. Also, DK is going to finish the BKB, which is what he's doing right now. So they are supposed to be the ones smoking, not the opponents. Lion just bought 2 smokes. However, Dire is supposed to be smoking right now. Let's see if they do it. Simply because they have 2 BKBs, and the opponents are mainly, yeah, with the Royal Border Smoke. Really nice play, actually. High level. But they're not going with this smoke. This will never work. Will actually never work, just walking like that into the opponent. Even though Nyx is dead, like, you can't really walk into Stone Gaze from Duza, and also, you know, this guy pressing spells if he were to be there. If you just run into them, they're going to get picked off. And then it's sort of like that they're playing S5. This guy can go alone simply because he's really fast. Because of the blink and bullwhip, and also has a BKB, so it's kind of hard for him to die. Unless he's like super close to Batrider to get Flaming Lasso. So again, same play as before. They're controlling the triangle. However, right now they smoked under our opponent's vision. That's why they were supposed to be like smoking here, instead of smoking the enemy side of the map. So this won't really do anything, most likely, unless the opponents actually want to fight them, which is, yeah, they do want to fight them. So TA is going to get bursted. It's not good anymore. This is sort of where the opponents are going to take a little bit of control of the game. They weren't careful with this word, which is why they lost the teamfight right here. They actually didn't have any sentries. I mean, they only won 2, but this was, yeah, they weren't really careful with this one. So they're going to lose a lot of net worth right now. They had like 3000 gold advantage. However, that gold advantage was negligible, simply because the gold was mostly on TA having advantage a little bit. However, her build is mostly defensive. I mean, her build is defensive because of this BKB, right? She could have gone like a Crystal or something like that. I'm not saying it's correct or not, but Duza, just because of the nature of the hero, you simply go for Ayascati, which counters BKB because he's slow in the BKB. You know, so her movement speed her movement is going to be slowed, her attack speed is going to be slowed. So this is sort of the moment where Duza is going to come into play in the game, because she's simply the strongest hero in the game. She has 2000 max mana. Invoker mana burn doesn't really do that much anymore. It's only like 600 or something like that. They don't have enough damage for her anymore, especially considering that TA is going to get Flaming Lash with every single team fight, and BKB won't really matter unless she gets it before she gets Lasso. But she's still, you know, she's still Flaming Lasso and reposition in another wave. Right now they're going to smoke on Raider. This is the correct play. I mean, I'm saying that they should smoke. Come on, Lion. Yeah, they ping Lion. The opponent's ping team, actually. So let's just look at Lion if he's going to smoke. Nope, Nyx got picked off. They're just farming. They're happy with farming, actually. They're okay with farming. Simply because I guess they just don't want to give Rosh away. But the correct play would have been to smoke. I mean, the thing is that if you win a team fight, you're getting the Roshan anyway. Oh, exactly. They're smoking a bit late. Yeah. I believe they just should have instantly smoked, because Bad Rider had a lasso. And instead of getting just a like support kill, you know, they could have maybe went for a core. Right now the opponents know that they're wanting to fight. So, you know, as you can see, they're obviously retreating. They don't really want to be there. Yeah, they can't really do this, to be honest. This guy's super defensive, as you can see. They mainly have magical damage. He has Nether Shawl, he has Hood of Defiance. Yeah, his build is actually appropriate for this game, especially the Heaven Halberd with the status resistance and also disarming TA in the fight. Oh, they're going for a smoke right now on the unknown team. They actually want to fight. I wouldn't really be doing this. I would not be doing this, to be honest. But it might work actually, because someone's far away. Oh yeah, it actually worked. Awesome. What happened actually? Were they under vision? So smoke breaks. She does not have vision of them. Oh, oh, okay, nice. Nice play by Winter Iron, I see. Placed vision down instantly, knowing where Tusa was. But the main issue with this is that she doesn't have a manta, to be honest. And was able to, get stun locked by other stuff afterwards. Because if she had manta, she could have dispelled some stuff. The cold snap, the spirit wrestle, and then get her ultimate away, and maybe just run away simply because it pierces ult. So I guess that was their mistake for that. Was just using manta to push waves in. You don't really do that whenever you're yeah, as you can see, they recognize that the word won the team fight. Really nice word actually. Instead their plays, they will take the ages because of this. So nicely done. Both teams played awesome, to be honest. They turned the game around, both of them. Before with the TA, I mean Betroid Relasso, and now with the Royal Vision. So it's really nice. TA finished the Daedalus. However, I still think that Duza is stronger than her in this instance. Even though she has like 1000 gold advantage, Duza is simply stronger than them because she's tankier by a lot. So this was actually a really nice play by Betrider, recognizing what they have to do, which is initiating on the counter initiator. Winter Wyvern the counter initiator for the Dire team. So because of that, if you initiate on this guy that's supposed to save people and stuff like that, you actually can get away with taking a team fight, even though the opponents have ages and a bit of gold advantage. So yeah, it's okay for them, to be honest. But however, we saw in that team fight that Dula is still full HP, full mana, and TA was like almost dying. Yeah, they won't be able to get her right here. It's actually impossible. It's a kind of bad dive, simply because Invoker has no BKB, Nyx is respawning soon, so they're most likely going to get chased right here and picked off, because they're awesome at chasing with the SG team. They have a lot of chase. Lion has 4-step, Blink 2 disables, Nyx also respawning, Timbersaw has 4-second Timber chain, can heal people, Batrider can slow, and just throw them back with Flame Break. They're doing a great job of keeping TA alive. Oh no, oh no, that was bad. That was really bad. You're not supposed to pop the BKB if you die with an Aegis. So this is really important for pubs and everything. It's really important to not pop the BKB before the Aegis pops. Because look at this. She's 600 HP, right? If she BKBs 700 HP, why would you do this? If you're dying, then you won't have the BKB when you're alive. And also the opponents, already pressed their spells. They have like no spells on them. So it's really important to not press the BKB, because she's going to die here, no matter what she does. But when you're alive and with a BKB, you might be able to turn with this DK buyback, would be an example, right? Or she's trying to blink out, however, it won't be possible. Imagine having a BKB right here. No, this is exactly why you do not BKB, because you're useless afterwards. If your hero just relies on assassinating people or doing a huge amount of damage, but you need the BKB to do that, you don't do it when you're dying. So yeah, that was a really big mistake, to be honest. She has no buyback right now. They're most likely going to lose something right here. Oh, they're tipping BM tip, because he was the one that dove here, and that was the catalyst for this turnaround actually. Nice. So it's sort of miscommunication on the Dire team, I believe. Maybe they were talking about buybacking and stuff like that and trying to teamfight when they actually didn't have buyback, and yeah. I'm not saying it's mechanical skill or not. It was obviously a mistake, as we clearly saw and explained. You simply don't do anything if you do not have a BKB afterwards. So yeah, nice turnaround by them. They're most likely going to be able to close them into their base. I mean, they should be able to, simply because they have an Nyx assassin, and since they have the map control right now, because one wave is always going to be pushed in, Nyx can get a lot of pickoffs. I mean, should be able to try and get picks up, you know, with Vendetta, and also combining it with Batrider, having a Blink Lasso. They should be careful on the dire team. They can still win this game, yeah, but it's really, really important that they don't do that play again. If they die like once again, probably the game is over, simply because they already have no damage for Dota. And right now, Duza's build was purely defensive almost. Axe is sort of defensive, right? Since you're just stoning people, but if you don't have a big damage item, which is exactly what is going to come right now, like a Daedalus or MKB, stuff like that, you're just sort of controlling people in place, you know. Dragonlance giving more range, Manta to dispel stuff and push waves, Skadi to slow people, you know, it doesn't have that much damage. However, with this Daedalus, it's going to have a lot of damage. So they're just sort of posing right here on the dire team, simply because they show TA is bottom. So this is really important that they don't get jumped here. Yeah, they just ping TA right now. Because they have to get back. It's really important to know what information you give away to the opponents, what information they want you to have. So in this instance, TA was here, and they showed mid. That means that they have to be careful. That's exactly why they ping. And this is exactly why the opponents are smoking. They saw one guy bottom, and they knew that this guy from bottom has only one place to go, right here. You can simply go like this. If you're not throwing here, you're either like hiding right here, or, you know, going like this, which is what you would normally be doing, unless you want a TP top or something like that. But that means that the opponents that were here, they can't really go here because it's your wave. They're not going bottom because nobody's bottom. They might be going towards their base, or they might be just on the triangle, which is exactly what they're doing. So they know that they can pick a team fight here. However, this is not a favorable place to fight for Radiant. It's because of the high ground vision that the opponents will have, also the word that they're able to get. So that's why they're not doing that. They're just showing a bit with two people, and yeah, they're getting initiated on. However, you know, yeah, Nyx is going to die instantly. Most likely will buy back. Yes, it's the buyback. Then TA is getting control right here inside her BKB by Batrider, which is actually going to fall because of the criticals that she's able to get. So it's really, really nice. This game is actually super good, to be honest. The both plays from the teammates, item choices, and the picks are really, really nice. Sort of out of mana right now, but Tia has no BKB, so they can like try to go in. Yeah, Medusa is just holding their ground, and she's going to do a lot of damage here. Yeah, the Batrider buyback was really nice. So they already used a lot of stuff, which is just the TA BKB. If you die for the TA BKB and you're and you have a buyback, it's actually really, really good if you could do it. To be honest, if you can suicide yourself to gain to get an enemy core to press a BKB, but then you can buy back and return to the same fight, knowing that the opponents can't really disengage from you. It's really, really good if you can buy back like that. Obviously, TA was forced to buy back also, because else they would simply going to lose the game right there. However, she was able to get a Batrider kill, but it's still super favorable for SG. As you can see, they have 6,000 gold advantage right now, and Duza's lead is getting higher. She hasn't died. I mean, she died once, like early game, I believe. She hasn't died afterwards. So it's really important to notice that. Heroes that usually take the advantage and run with it, it's really important to be able to itemize correctly and not die. So that is exactly why Duza went for this type of items. Manta Skadi, you know, eggs, Dragonlance, just tankier items. Just the last item is going to be a Daedalus. And then she's actually queuing up a BKB, which is really nice actually. It's probably the correct choice. Upgrading a Hurricane Pie would also be really nice, but I actually agree with the BKB purchase that he's going to go for. Wait, what did she sell? Oh, the Dragonlance, yeah. I want to say that Dragonlance would actually, I mean, the Hurricane Pie would be actually pretty good because you can cut the trees with this, you know, for bushwhack. So this spell gets like totally disabled. You can also kite from Evoker, you know, Ice Wall, Tornado, EMP, stuff like that. Get away from Meteor, Obviously, you know, it's a pro game, so other people have forced that for her. But I'm just saying the second one would be also good. And, you know, actually having more range than TA is important. Right now, I believe that TA has the same range as Duza without the Dragonlance. So that's why I would have loved to see a Hurricane Pike. However, you know, they simply want to go for the game right now to win the game because Tia has no buyback. So that's why they're going for display. I'm pretty sure that she probably might have went for a Hurricane Pike unless, you know, unless TA hadn't bought back before. As you can see, even TA is buying the items, so right now she went for Aghanim Shard, even though, you know, it might not be that useful. However, she has no buyback. She has to get as strong as possible in the moment right here. A play that a lot of people do, for example, if the opponents are hitting your Rex or hitting your throne, or, you know, towers for going for the throne, you can simply buy like a Desolator, casual Desolator or casual Crystal Ace or something like that to give you a bit more damage to actually try to win the team fight. Simply because if you have like 3,000-4,000 gold and you're not able to get out simply because the opponents are, you know, in your face right now trying to win the game, you need to use the gold. It doesn't matter if you have to sell the item afterwards or it's not that useful for afterwards. If the game is over, it doesn't really matter. So I really like that she went for this shard right here. Because, you know, the opponents might be pushing the throne soon or taking the roar. So it is going to be the last fight for them if they, you know, if they lose it, because she has no buyback. So I really like that they're doing that. Let's check the Invoker's build afterwards. He went for an Agony Scepter. To be honest, I mean, it's okay, but I don't think it's that great in this game, simply because you can really set up only with DK stun and then this bushwhack that can get cancelled. The main issue with this build that I see is, yeah, BKB is great, obviously, but the main issue I see is that Aghanim is 4,000 gold, and it's not that great in this game, to be honest. What I would have loved to see is something like a Hex or Shivas to give him more control to deal with Duza, because the only issue that they have is this Duza. That's a massive Duza right here. So if he can deal with this Duza a little bit by hexing him, since they don't have any disabled, so you don't want Duza to be hitting you. Hexing him or Shivaing her, not having enough movement speed to run around the team fights and stuff like that. You know, being tankier for you to actually do stuff against her, that would be a lot better than his Aghanim Scepter, to be honest. I mean, I haven't seen Sunstrike being used, the Cataclysm, or not doing a lot, to be honest. So that's why I would have went for the Hex, most likely. And also Shiva, as I mentioned before, is actually really good because you stop the regen. It's sort of a vessel, you know, AoE vessel. You stop the healings by a percentage on the opponents, so Timbersaw is going to get affected by it also. And also you will be able to, you know, tank a bit of hits from Daedalus Duza. I know you don't want to be in front of the opponents, but you know, you might be forced to try and save your TA or something like that, you know. Tia went for a butterfly. Obviously, she was going to go for a sweep link, but then changed her mind. This is really important. That if the opponent is like 6 slotted, you can go for like a butterfly or something like that. The opponent can't really counter. As you can see, this guy has no slot for MKB. He has to drop the threads, and then it's easier to control. So it's really important. This happened to me today, actually. Yeah, he has no buyback on DK. He didn't press BKB when stunning, and then he just got Lotus. It happened to me almost. Maybe it was a Mega Clips game. I mean, one of my teammates, not me. I was playing Terrorblade. So yeah, this is sort of the issue with their draft, with Dire Team's draft. Because they go in, look at the Cataclysm, did nothing. I almost killed Timbersaw. That doesn't really matter simply because he has a buyback and, you know, just picks up trees, is 100% HP. They have no damage for Duza. TA is also dying, wasn't really able to deal any damage. They don't have enough damage, to be honest, against the opponents, and also they don't have enough control. Just the supports alone on the Radiant team, SG team, they have like 4 disables, 2 supports. On the Dire team, they have 2 stuns in total. DK stun and like bushwalk. So one support from the Radiant team equals sort of the entire team in the disabling departments. Obviously, Invoker has deafening blast, tornado, stuff like that, cold snap, but it's not actual disable. It's just sort of crowd control. So Tia has no buyback now. She won't. I mean, she'll have buyback when she's up, so it doesn't really matter. The game is sort of over in this instance. Tuza is just to farm. They have no damage for her. She has ages. Correct play for her actually is to buy a divine right now. Sell your threats and go buy a divine. Because you have ages. You know the other opponent doesn't have buyback. Is she going for the... No, she's not. She's going for an MKB. Safe play, I guess. But the divine would be the correct choice, to be honest. They can kill you once. You have ages, and if you had the divine, you would have so much more damage than without it. But and also you have a BKB, so like the opponents have no damage at all. But either way, the game is sort of over. Congratulations to SG. Really nice gameplay. Thank you for watching the video, guys. Have a nice day.